Well,
Yeah,
where
right.
are we? Where the heck are we?
I don't know. I think we're in my basement/game room right now. I think it is. Yeah, it is. We're in
I
my
don't think
basement game room.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Well, welcome to the show. We're in Ben's basement, and there's a lot of cool stuff around here.
Yeah.
But this is all my stuff, right?
That used to be.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Anyway.
We did not talk about the most obvious thing to talk about, which is what are you currently playing? Okay, let's just get to it, Ben. Tell us about Black Ops 6. What's going on?
Well,
what's going on?
if I have to discuss Black Ops 6, I guess I just will.
Held at gunpoint.
All right,
Gotta
here we
talk
go. Here we
about
go. Well, I got my guns up there if you want to get one.
You
But
tell me right now.
so, Black Ops 6, it is the continuation of Black Ops Cold War.
Fast forward, skip ad. The numbers.
So what I think about it is the campaign is probably the third best Black Ops campaign. I still think Black Ops 1, then 2, now 6. It's better than 3 and
Wait,
it's better than Cold War.
Hang on. What's top?
Of all time COD?
Yeah. You said it. It's
I'm saying
campaign.
of the Black Ops world, but of all
you
COD
said
campaigns,
you said it's the third best campaign.
of the Black Ops universe.
Oh, so
So-
there's a lot of criteria here
See,
that I was not
all right,
prepared for.
of Call of Duty, the whole thing, the whole shebang.
all
Whole-
20.
all
All
Call
right,
of
so I'm gonna rank them all. You got Call of Duty 4 at number 1, and then probably Black Ops 1.
Yeah.
And then probably Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And then I'm not gonna go all the way through. I can't. I'm gonna be like,
Then
and Vanguard
Vanguard.
number 17.
Well, where does
But
Black Ops 4
Black
lie?
Ops 6
Or
is.
Black Ops 6.
You don't even know. Black Ops 6 definitely sits in the upper 25% of the campaigns. It
I
is,
thought you were gonna say upper 25 Call of Duty.
and you know
Like,
what?
How many?
It is, and there's only 20 campaigns.
There's
but
only 26.
yeah, I would say it comfortably sits at probably at like top 6 campaigns. Probably top Call of Duty's number 8. I would say.
That's pretty good.
I mean, of the 20, it's in the top half.
And when you go from literally the worst Call of Duty release, anything's going to seem
yeah,
really good.
yeah.
Not that
2023
it's not.
really
it's
was a low point for us with Modern Warfare 3.
For us, who?
Us Coddies.
Right.
But then
yeah,
after
that's what-
after being beaten by Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 6 comes. The campaign is I have about 2 missions left, I think, and I really like it. Has some really interesting stuff that it does with, you know, the mission. You didn't play Black Ops Cold War. Do you remember the mission in World War II where you're like infiltrating a
That's the
base?
only thing I remember about that game.
Well, this game has like 2 of those, and they're better than that.
That's where you're like you're in that French embassy thing or whatever, and you're just like talking to people and you're figuring stuff out and you're checking stuff off your list.
There's a mission where you're at a Bill Clinton rally in Black Ops 6. That's probably one of my favorite missions in Call of Duty.
Oh, I thought
ever.
this was like
So
in the
Do you have a gun?
70s or 80s.
you about halfway through it turns into a normal Call of Duty
Because that's
mission.
what happens in that World War II one, where it's like it's really cool, and then in the end, it's like, let me switch to the guy with the gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
Buildings
thinking,
crumbling.
I was playing last night, and I'm like, wouldn't it be so interesting if there was a Call of Duty mission with no guns?
Yeah.
Like that would be so cool. But I think that in the boardrooms where they talk about, they're like, but
We have these
The
bullet
kids are going to
points.
get bored.
if they can't quickscope, what are they going to do? What are we doing? So the multiplayer for Black Ops 6 is, again, probably third, fourth best. Well, tied with Black Ops 3 right now, I think, because it doesn't have all the advanced movement. It doesn't have specialists like it does in Black Ops 3, like where they can do ultimates Overwatch style.
Yes.
But
That's really
the
fun.
guns feel good. The maps are fine. Nuketown's back. We're
Oh my
back.
god, for the
For the
20th
sixth
time.
I can't believe it.
That's
know we're
crazy.
back.
They keep
We are
adding
so
it.
back, baby.
Kill streaks are good. Guns are good. The game looks great. It runs great. Connection's good. Zombies is actually, it's better than Cold War, and I think it's better than Black Ops 4. There's only 2 maps, but one of the maps, Terminus, you gotta love it.
I mean, you don't gotta.
I'm
but
inclined
apparently people
to,
do.
based on
Gotta
what
love
you
it.
said.
So Black Ops 6 right now, I mean, I was telling Logan earlier,
Yeah.
usually right now I'm at like the almost done. Like where I'm like, I almost can't do it anymore. Point of the year. Where I'm like, pissing me off again. You're testing me. But then Black Ops 6, I'm thinking like, all right, I'm ready to play. I'm about to prestige. Gonna beat the campaign. Gonna keep playing Modern Warfare or multiplayer, not Modern Warfare.
How are the maps, though?
They're decent. It does have a couple that are really bad, but
As is tradition.
but there are a couple that are solid. I mean, right now at launch, there's not a map that 3 years from now we're gonna be like, remember Babylon? No.
Okay.
Remember Vorkuta? No. Remember Nuketown? Oh yeah, it's back. A couple years from now.
It's the only one you can
Black
name.
Ops 7.
What about Jungle?
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
classic.
I'm more intrigued at them bringing back old maps than I used to be, because Black Ops 4 did that, where they're like, look, jungle's back. Look, Array, or I think it's Array, is back.
Array.
Woo.
What's the? Isn't there like a target shooting one? Or is that jungle?
Firing Range.
Yeah.
Oh,
Firing Range has been remade like 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
But
I
it's
don't
still
know.
that's a great one to bring back.
I'm an old head, man. I don't know.
I don't know past 2012. Back in
no,
those,
no.
that was the last year of fantastic Call of Duty. Ever since then, it's been
Was that Black Ops 2?
yes. Ghosts marks the first huge decline, where you could
Yeah.
say Modern Warfare 3 was a decline in 2011.
But Ghost had
Well, like
everyone's
technically, but before the
the
drop
plunge,
off.
the
Yeah.
dive off the cliff was Ghosts.
everyone loves Ghost because it has everyone's favorite protagonist.
Riley the dog.
Logan.
I was gonna say Logan.
Yeah.
but
Remember that?
I don't remember Logan. I remember the dog.
everyone
Everyone's
cares
like,
about the
dog's gonna
dog.
die. I don't think it dies. Spoiler alert for Call of Duty Ghosts.
There's a website, for movies. It's
Does
called
the dog die.com?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So there should be one for video games.
Well, don't play Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare then, because the dogs jump on you and you're like,
Oh yeah.
when you're in
yeah.
Chernobyl.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really easy to snap a dog's neck.
I saw a
just that
clip
easy. It's
of
just clicking
someone
right stick.
playing Modern Warfare at that mission, and their German Shepherd was watching the TV, and he does it, and the dog just turns to him like,
That's good.
"What was that?"
It's like better
like that.
behave.
I know what I'm doing. Special forces.
I would like to talk about favorite games, even though we kind of know of our favorite games. But let's make it public and let's dissect our brains.
Let's reveal it
Yes.
Oh,
to the
boy.
masses.
I want to hear it, Logan. I want to hear the favorite. And I actually know your probably top 5.
I could think of top 3.
Oh, there's gonna be one that's gonna surprise you. I mean, have you guys ever heard of a game called Hoonie Pop before?
I don't know. Is that a
Is that a
an
Jacob
anime titty game?
It's a Jacob.
Shout
game.
out Jacob.
It's a no. It's
Anime titty game? I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out
it-
Kyle,
it
too.
is, it is. It would have been, trust me, it would have been a really funny joke. You guys had known what that was. It's a anime booby game. So,
Uh-oh.
but it's a
there
bad
are-
joke.
There
Never mind.
are 2 that are that are contending for the spot. So I don't know which one it is though.
Well, should I just?
Both of them start with S.
They both do start with
Okay.
S.
I can think
Okay,
of one of them. I
I
don't
do
know
know
what
what
the
you're
other one
talking
is.
about for the other one. Well, no, I've gone back and forth a lot of times about it, but yeah, number 1 would be Shadow of the Colossus. Definitely my number 1 game.
That's the one I thought.
Just so good. I honestly listen to the vinyl like every now and then. Just it's
Well, what is it for you? What is it?
everything. I don't. I
What
mean,
is it?
here's the big thing. We kind of talked about like going back and playing games like out of time, being like, oh, I never played this or whatever. But like, because that is a big factor, is nostalgia for sure. Like I, played the original on PS2. My one of my good buddies lent it to me, and it was just incredible.
When did you play it?
2005, I would say.
Yeah.
That's the year it came out. So yeah. Even on the PS2, it's like one of those games like even the Silent Hill games and everything where you go back and you're like, this is just so good running for the
What
PS2.
do you say to
It's
the people
insane.
that constantly are like, well, this game sucks because the controls suck and it's hard to control the stupid hordes and I keep getting flung off the stupid big monsters.
I mean,
what do you say to that?
It's a skill issue. Yeah, it's kind of just a skill issue, honestly.
What about people who blaze through it and they just don't understand why it was good?
I
They're like,
mean-
dude, I killed them all, dude.
I don't
That's
get
it.
I know.
Okay.
I don't know anyone that.
Where was my
quick
quickscope?
that. I don't see anyone saying that, but it's no,
I
it
get
is
to
rough.
bang the girl at the end. What the hell?
Yeah, I thought we were gonna bang, dude. She my sister, bro.
yeah. I must have skipped
get
that cutscene. I don't
That
know
didn't
about
stop
that
me
one.
before.
No, but the controls are a bit rough. I even replaying it, I'm like, ooh, yeah. Ugh. And some of the puzzles are like rough. Like it is just classic 2000 stuff, right? Like, playing The Last Guardian, it's like just way more of a smooth.
I'd say when I am in my brain thinking of, like usually when I play a game or watch a movie, and I'm trying to think of like what number is this sitting at out of 10 for me. Whenever I think of like a 6 out of 10 experience, Last Guardian is one of the ones that come into my head.
Oh, no.
Maybe 3.5
No.
out of 5,
It's-
but it is just like when I played it, it was just so like it didn't do anything special.
Trico. You
Yeah,
don't like
it's
Trico?
cool. It's cool. I love that it exists. I love that it took 20 years to develop and they finally
Yeah,
came
I'm
out
sure
with it.
Missed an entire console generation
yes,
to make it.
but it just
Yeah,
like
fair
is so.
That's
No,
a game
it's
I would have
fantastic.
loved to have seen what it was capable of doing on the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
Like because it ran terrible on the PS4.
Certainly. In
So-
fact, what's funny is that if you play the game now and you let your console update, the game runs horribly, like we all knew because we all installed the day one patch. If you don't install the day one patch isn't available anymore, but if you don't install the current patch or something like that, there is a version of the game that runs better
What?
than what
They don't want us to see that.
Yeah, it's something weird like that. Okay, so Shadow of the Colossus. Well, I don't think you explained what you like about it though. So go.
Yeah, you just
I
said that
think
the
it's-
controls suck.
It's
Which I don't think they do.
And they don't.
It's intentionally abrasive because they want it to feel difficult when you're climbing
Yeah.
a monster. They don't want it just to
Yeah.
be like Uncharted, hold up, and I'm climbing the guy. They want
Yeah.
it to be like a little weird and wibbly wobbly.
Exactly. It's the same thing with like Metal Gear Solid, right? It's just like the controls feel weird.
Yeah, they're
and
obtuse
clunky.
on purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, why do you like the game?
Yeah.
I
This
like
is.
it.
I thought you were
I
just
don't
going to
know
tell us
if
what
it's
you
ever
like.
been this hard to
I
get
like
something they
it.
like out of something.
Okay, I like it because it's a good game.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we had that conversation.
No, it's okay. Everything about it, like the music. I really do think that like it is one of the most like cinematic kind of games. Like naturally, like right. It's like you'll be playing a game and it's like, whoa, wasn't that so cool? Like another example is like I play Monster Hunter a lot, where it's like, wow, it's so awesome that this attack lined up just as I did this thing, and it's like it's all AI, right? It's like it's all like just random happenstance, but it's designed in such a way that like cool moments like happen to you. That's how Shadow of the Colossus feels like by design.
Oh
It's like,
yeah,
it
okay.
feels like you're playing a movie.
Now I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, it's designed in a way where even just things that occur feel like they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
happen
it's
in a
like
way.
the first game that like didn't have like that I remember. Like I said, big part of it is nostalgia. There might be some other games like Silent Hill and like other like early like 90s games, early 2000s games. But that was the first one where I'm like, this is like a movie. Like there's barely any HUD. There is a HUD technically. You have a health bar and like a meter, but like there's no.
Oh, you know, when I
waypoint.
played it on PS4, I turned that thing off. No,
I never
way.
played the
exactly.
PS2 version.
So the PS4 remake, and that's actually what I was debating for a long time. I'm like, do I want to put that filter on to make it look like the original? But I just left it clean, like how it is out of the box. And I'm gonna be honest, like I think I like it because I think part of it back in the day was it helped with the rendering and everything because there was a lot to render for the PS2 hardware.
Well,
at
it
the
still
time and
does a
everything.
really good job.
Yes,
like
yeah.
insanely good. Like
Exactly,
that that's kind of like God of War 2, where when you're
Right.
playing it, you're like, this could have been a PS3 game. Shadow of
Yeah.
the Colossus feels like that too.
Or Silent
Exactly.
Hill 3.
Yes, where you're like, you know, it could have been because of how it runs and how it performs and how it looks graphically.
Right. Like they must have been pushing that.
And those are all three really good games.
Or Metal
Yeah,
Gear Solid
yeah.
3.
Yes. Yep.
What's your other S game?
Star Wars Battlefront. But that
Battlefront
one-
2.
Battlefront 2 specifically.
Oh, I was
yeah.
thinking of the EA like 2015
No, that one. No,
with
that
the
one.
loot boxes.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm like,
no, I'm kidding.
no.
I'm kidding. No.
I'm
No,
like, that's
no,
an
no,
odd
no.
choice.
No, and that
Very
game
interesting, though.
still holds up today. We were playing that in my basement, and we were playing the Xbox version, which allows for 4 players and not 2 players like on the PS2, like we grew up with. And it's flipping awesome, dude.
Yeah.
It is just so much goofy fun.
Yep.
Oh, let me tell you something hilarious, which was so good. So my younger brother Adam is like Battlefront 2 god. He would just play
Yeah.
Galactic Conquest on loop
Yep.
over and over again. That's all he did. And
Yep.
then when he beat it, he would start it up again.
That's-
So how we were doing 2v2, so 2 people on the Empire, 2 people with the Republic, and not Republic, the where'd it
yeah,
go?
Rebel
Yeah,
Alliance.
the
and
Rebellion,
Galactic
or
Empire.
Rebels,
yeah.
whatever. So we were on Hoth, which has the big AT-ATs,
That's my fun. That's
and
the fun spot.
Adam was like, "Oh," when we were flipping a coin to see who was on what side. So he was like, "Oh, if I'm on the Empire, you guys are so toast," and blah blah blah.
So cooked.
And for those that don't know, the guys that are on the good guy team, they're basically not very well equipped, and the Empire has these giant walkers that shoot lasers and blow up a bunch of stuff. So anyway,
not even
Adam's
that
like,
good,
"Oh, you
though.
guys are so toast."
They're
It
not
got
even
down
that
to
good.
2 tickets
Yeah,
at the very end. His team still won, but it felt so good to be like, you know, we almost got you.
Yeah,
So
well, that map is awesome too, because the AT-AT is not really that great anyway, because you have to actually go in manually or just.
but they
let
do
AI
respawn.
They act as a respawn point. What's really cool about that map too is that you can go get in the speeder for the rebels and actually go do the tow cables and like take them down. I think the AT-ATs respawn. I don't remember. It's been too long, but
They do.
Oh, they do respawn. Okay, but like you can go and like take them out with the tow cables.
Yeah.
And so you have to active like if you're.
But it's so much easier to just choose a rocket launcher guy and just stand by an ammo recharger and just blast them over.
Oh,
and over.
really?
It's much quicker. Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, even though the tow cable, it's cool to do the thing that they want you to do, but in
Yeah.
reality, it's just like.
Yeah. It's just so cool. Like it's just shit like that. And like what I would, it's the same thing. I would legitimately, like, I play that game so much. I would just do Galactic Conquest on loop just because there's just so many good maps that have like cool little fun secrets like that like it just was. I want to say hundreds of hours I just played that. Like the big, obviously everyone played like the one where it's like you're all the Jedi in like Mos Eisley and you're just running around. It's just a fantastic time. So that one's, I like Shadow Colossus because it is like my number one, like fun, like super, like it's art, it's cinema. And then my second is at Battlefront because I'm like, this is just one of the best like arcade, just fun, goofy times that even nowadays, like, yeah, you can literally load that game up today and be like, yeah, this
it's
is
so
a fun,
much better
fun
than
old
the
time.
horrible EA concoction nightmare.
Yeah, that's why I was very confused. I'm like, you have an
It
interesting
is-
taste.
It
if
is
that's what you
just
like so
a
much.
nightmare. And
Yeah.
EA, I think recently
Sports.
they just lost the Star Wars license, or not lost, but it expired. So that's because Ubisoft came out with Star Wars
yeah.
Outlaws, which performed phenomenally.
Everybody
Everyone loves it.
Everybody's talking about it.
Even though I want to try it, but I'll wait for it to be $15 because you know it'll be $15.
Yeah,
so,
Ubisoft
In
games do
2
not
months.
hold their value at all.
which is crazy. But and they're
Assassin's Creed.
they're in like a pretty big hole right now. Like I think
I mean,
there's
yeah,
Really?
the
their stock
Skull
prices-
and Bones came out after being in development for like 7 years or something insane.
when that launched, I didn't even know it launched. Like afterwards, I was like, "Oh, it
Really?
came out," because I
how
think
is
that
it?
the Saudi Arabian government
Mm-hmm.
had stakes in that game. Like they invested in the game because Saudi Arabia has investments in video game stuff for some reason.
Just in Ubisoft, I think. I think that's like the only thing I've
really?
ever heard of with that.
Oh,
And they were going to cancel it several times, but they were going to get sued by the government
yes, because
if they,
they
didn't
had an
release it.
obligation to. We
Yep.
gave you this money. We want to see the finished thing.
I don't know why they didn't, at some point in their dreaming of canceling it, just remake Assassin's Creed 4.
Everybody
And just
on
call
the
it a
planet,
day.
Yes, everybody on the planet is wondering why.
Just add multiplayer to that.
I don't know, man. I'm sure
Like,
that the ship combat in Skull and Bones is more focused on that. But even if it's more focused and you got to do this and that and raise the sales or whatever, people just want a Assassin's Creed 4 ship combat.
but more.
And
Or
that's it.
just go play Sea of Thieves. And the better version of that.
They did add a you can make like private servers. So like you can make servers so there aren't people like going around like PvPing you all day. They finally added that after like 6 or like a long time, like
Been
5 or
like
6
8
years.
since that game came out.
Yeah, legitimately. And so now they finally just, I think earlier, like over the summer, added that. It's fine. It's like, well, you only can get up to a certain level in your guilds, and you get like 33% of the experience you would get, but you can at least play the game without having soup. Because I'll be honest, that was a reason I stopped playing, because it is super sweaty, because you could sit grinding for an hour and a half.
But it's got all the memes online where they say
Sure.
Captain
Remember
Look.
the Megalodon?
You remember
Yeah.
that? That's
From
all you
5
guys,
years ago?
You guys
I
haven't
know.
even
I've
played it.
I've owned
Captain
it.
Jack
for
Sparrow's
years.
in it.
Yeah, I've owned it for
That
probably
is actually, see, that's
4
what I mean.
years.
Is that those missions are actually kind of cool, and it's actually a really fun time when you get like with the crew of your buddies and you're on the galley and you're like, oh, load up the can. Oh, there's a megalodon.
Aren't you glad Rare's working on that instead of like a Conker's Bad Fur Day remake or like a new Banjo game?
Yes.
Honestly, even though I would love one of those new games, it means nothing that it would come from that studio.
Yeah,
It means nothing.
Yeah, there's
But
no
we
one
were
there who
just
was on that
playing
team.
Rare game.
Yes, we were playing one last night. No, because nobody that made those games or had any input is there. No one. Maybe the janitor at Rare's office. Maybe he's still working there, but like nobody is there. Same thing with like who are they? The Mass Effect people. BioWare.
Oh my god.
Like BioWare. Like
BioWare.
so Dragon Age Inquisition comes out. Or not Inquisition.
Veilguard.
Veilguard comes out.
Everybody
I'm
forgets
old.
about that one already, and it's
I'm
been out for a
old.
week.
So yeah, they're like Mass Effect 4, which is
Yeah.
great, but it's like I don't
Mass
care.
Effect 5, remember? Andromeda.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Oh,
Mass Effect
right.
4.
Oh.
You forgot about that
Well,
too?
did they
no.
say? Did they?
They said we are working on Mass Effect 5.
Oh my God,
So they consider Mass Effect Andromeda Mass Effect 4.
that's illegal.
Which it was funny because I never got into Mass Effect until the Legendary Edition came out, and I played through the trilogy like back to back to back.
That's crazy.
Loved it. One of my favorite games of all time now, just that trilogy as a whole.
Yep.
And then I'm like, so should I play Andromeda now? And everyone's like, no.
Yeah, just don't
I'm like,
bother.
okay, I guess that's where it ends. Even though there's a whole nother game. There's
Yeah.
a whole nother game
Yes.
sitting over there.
Another Mass
There's a whole
Effect,
lot of-
another whole Mass Effect game,
Sealed.
You haven't even
Sealed
and
in
it
the
will,
box.
and it will never
Why'd
be
you
broken.
buy it then?
It'll
It's gotta be on the
it'll
shelf.
disintegrate in the plastic wrap before it's played.
Where it belongs.
Before it's played. So yeah, they're saying Mass Effect 5 is coming out.
Andromeda 2.
I do not care. I mean, I'll give it a chance, or I'll look at the Metacritic
I'll
score.
see
but,
what IGN says. I'll
Yes.
give it a 10 out of 10. I'll buy it.
but yeah, I don't have any interest. So if Rare were to be like Conquer, I'm not gonna be like, oh yes, they got it, they did it. I'll be like, okay.
I mean, that's what I was thinking with Silent Hill 2 Remake, too.
Oh yeah,
Going
did
into
you
that.
play that?
What?
Did I play?
Oh
Silent Hill?
yeah. Well, do we?
I don't know.
All right, Ben. Well,
Yeah, I was gonna
what's
say,
the deal?
well, perfect
What's the deal?
segue.
So, what's the deal? So, Silent Hill 2, one of your all-time favorite games. Why do you like that old game? The controls
It's like
smells
rusty.
weird. Yeah.
It looks.
everybody
I mean, it looks
talks.
good, but-
Everybody talks goofy and
Yeah,
Why do you
everyone
like
sounds
that?
so silly.
Why could you possibly? How could you? Possibly
Why would anyone
like
go to that town?
that? Yeah.
Well, because our wife is there, and we got to find out where's Mary. Why would she send me a letter? Silent Hill 2 is one of the scariest games ever made, and I love horror. And I think I love horror so much because it impacts, like, I feel it so much. Like, I play Five Nights at Freddy's, and it fucks me up, dude. Like, it's scared every time. It gets
Every jump
buddy.
scare. Oh, Chica.
And that's why I think I love it so much, is because it, like, people
Because
who
you're
play
very
it,
susceptible to.
yeah, because
being
people who play it and they're like, okay, oh wow, it popped out. For me, I'm like, ah, every time, and that's why I enjoy it, because it makes me feel something again.
and you're cold. And you're cold.
It wakes me up for a moment. But Silent Hill 2, as far as survival horror goes, while it doesn't really compare in its mechanics to like Resident Evil Remake, for example, where you're never really,
Are you talking about the new one?
I'm talking about the old one.
Okay, old smelly game.
Silent Hill 2, it doesn't hold up mechanically in like the survival horror sense to like Resident Evil 1, where you're much more resource management heavy. You're never really running out of ammo or health unless you're playing on hard. The puzzles aren't super hard unless you play it on hard or riddle, especially Silent Hill 3, where you actually have to have Shakespeare knowledge to be able to beat the puzzles. But what I love about Silent Hill 2 more than basically any other game is the atmosphere that it has and the storyline that it has. There is no game darker than Silent Hill 2 since then or before.
What about Postal?
Well, like, you could be like, what about Hatred? That
Yes,
game's
that's what
game's
I was.
darker.
That's what I was.
But like,
that's what I meant.
it's you could make a game that's like more depraved than Silent Hill 2, but the way that it does it in like a respectable way at the same time, it's not grotesque for grotesque's sake. It's very deliberate in the way that it tries to disgust you, and the characters that you meet, like Eddie, who's just the biggest piece of shit on the planet, and I love to hate that guy, or Angela, who's been through more trauma than anyone I can imagine. The feeling of playing Silent Hill 2, especially, and the remake I think actually does a better job of just dread the entire time,
Misery.
of feeling just like on edge, uneasy, just
Like
sad.
when you, like I imagine I'm
Resident Evil.
I'm thinking of like playing horror games when I was younger, and I just like felt sick in my stomach because I didn't want to keep going forward and see what was. But like nowadays, I think it's cool and I want to do it. But that old icky feeling where it's like, oh, I don't want to see, or watching a horror movie when you're little, just like where you're like, I don't even want to, and it's making me feel sick. So that's cool that it invokes that, and you like that, you weirdo.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Silent Hill 2 Remake is more dreadful, I would say. More based on the enemy design.
Silent Hill 2 is dreadful.
And I
Ben's
love it.
review.
And I love it. And it's a 10
It's
and
triple,
Silent
5
Hill
out of
2 2001 is a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love it. But
Remake. How does it?
the remake is,
Oh.
well, don't get me wrong.
No.
I've never been so critical going into a game as I was with Silent Hill 2 because I was so like the original's so beloved to me of the characters and everything. It's the characters and the story. It's not the gameplay that means a lot to me. So the characters and the story are the most beloved thing to me in Silent Hill 2. So going in, I was much more critical of, like, to the point of how is Mary going to deliver this line, or how is Maria going to say this one particular sentence? And going in like that, I was let down by a lot of stuff. There's a lot of particular lines. One that you were here for, when they're in the basement, when
she's on the other side of the bars.
Yes, when Maria says, "I'm not your Mary." Like in the original, like the first time I heard it, I had like goosebumps and like my stomach, my heart sunk into my stomach. Ooh. But in the remake,
10-year-old Ben?
How old would I have been? I played it with Alex, actually, at a hotel. My first playthrough.
Spooky, you're not even home. You can't even hide.
I know, I couldn't even hide. Yeah, I had to hide under the covers in someone else's bed. But it was lines like that. Like Eddie, I was super worried about them screwing up, and they did a phenomenal job with him. Laura's great. It's really just Angela that doesn't really hit the mark, which is the most important character to me, so that kind of sucked. But overall, though, the gameplay is what they really fixed in the remake. Like, it's fun to play, although it's way too long, is my biggest criticism.
How many hours did you have on this?
16, and the original's 9 hours.
Yeah, that's
I did play on hard, and I did die like 40 times, because it's hard on hard.
4D?
4Ds, but
4Ds what?
Everyone because I saw everyone who played on normal said I didn't die at all, so I'm like, I'm not gonna play on that.
Yeah.
And then hard, and Mitch died, I think, like 50 times.
Well, Mitch sucks.
Well, sorry, Mitch. But that really hurt it for me, that it was way longer than it needed to be, and the game felt like, where the original, when you're in a labyrinth, like the hospital or the apartments, it feels like you're exploring organically, where it feels like you find a puzzle and you're just randomly exploring, and randomly you'll find the answer.
Yes.
Where the remake is much more like, here is the puzzle. Go down this hallway and you will find the key number 1, and it'll bring you back. Now put in key number 1. Now it unlocks the path to key number 2. It's very much, it feels like game design, where Silent Hill 2 did not feel like game design.
You can see the design. Like, you can imagine the designers doing what they did, rather in Silent Hill 2, the original. It just feels like an organic environment that you're just coming across stuff to progress the game.
And you're like, oh, duh, of course I have to like get the hair out of the box to like.
Well, obviously.
And in the remake, there's nothing in the box.
Oh, what?
It's so lame, because I'm like, oh, where's the hair? Nope, no hair.
Well, is the hair someplace else?
The game has one thing that I really enjoy, where you'll find like throwbacks to the original game that aren't in the remake. Yeah. So like, if you remember, the first enemy encounter you have in Silent Hill 2 is under that bridge. You'll find that bridge, and you'll be able to interact with it, and it'll play like a little jingle and like make the screen shake a little bit to be like, here's a throwback to the original, but we're going to change it up and do it in our own way, which I really like.
So what happens when you interact with it then?
It literally is like, you found a collectible, basically.
But that's it?
No. Or yes, that is it.
So you just click on it, it goes, ding, ding, ding.
Well,
Good job.
It's the same thing with the pizza, where it's like, how can you sit there and eat pizza?
Yeah, that was one of those
jingles?
one of those moments.
Yeah.
So bring bada bing.
Oh,
skim
like,
skip it up up.
Okay, so it's obviously too long, and there's a couple of character things you don't like. What is a perfect version of the remake then? Like, what did they need to do for that to be better than the original for you?
That's what makes it difficult. I'm definitely not one of those people who's like, I don't want any changes. I enjoyed the changes that they made. If you don't want any changes, just go play Silent Hill Enhanced Edition on PC.
Yeah. Like,
that's what you should play if you don't want any changes. But for me, I don't, other than fixing the performances and cutting out some of the fluff in a couple of the areas, if they did that, it would be about as good as I could have imagined it being. I like that they changed things. I like that they did their own style.
Yeah.
But they did a little too much. Not even too much of their own style, just too much content, which I never thought I was going to say that. Like,
yeah, because you would think like, well, I want it to be I don't want it to ever end.
Especially since the last Silent Hill game was like 2012 or something. Downpour came out.
Is that the one that you made me play? Oh my god!
And it's so good.
Wait, is that the Wii one where it's
God.
like
that's Shattered Memories?
That's the last one I played.
The downpour is
Oh my
bad.
God.
It's all I really have to say. But
So that's one where like you're throwing rocks or
What?
something.
Huh?
It's like
Throwing
you,
rocks?
like you throw. I think you throw like rocks at the environment to do things. Like I remember there's a part where you have to throw a rock at a light or something, or throw a rock at a
Probably.
thing.
You can throw stuff
and you're
in
in a
downpour.
you're in a kitchen and you got to throw some stuff. That's all I remember about the game.
just throwing.
Yes, or maybe I was just throwing up from playing the game.
Seize the game.
I was throwing myself off a bridge.
and it's just so like original Silent Hill 2 is a psychological horror, but in Downpour, much like Evil Within 1 is like psychological. Get it? So then you go in, yes, and it does shit like that. So like in Downpour, you're in like a diner and then you're in the kitchen section and you go through a door and then all of a sudden it's a big area and then all this weird stuff starts happening and impossible environment. It's like so like bare minimum, like it's psychological and weird. So weird things visually are happening and the character's like, what the fuck is happening?
Where am I? It's
Yes.
like Layers of Fear style, which is also a Bloober game. But after Silent Hill 4, they have never figured it out again. And I don't even like Silent Hill 4, but I'll give it to that one too. But after the original trilogy, they lost all that team and they could never strike gold again. Honestly, till Silent Hill 2 Remix, much as I say negative things about it, I really did love it. And it was great to be able to go back to that town again in a modern setting and it be good.
Yeah.
That was my biggest fear.
I think something that also is hyping it up for you too is that expectations could not have been lower when everybody on the planet is like, Bloober's gonna fuck it up.
Yep, it's gonna be Blair Witch 2. Everybody remembers that one.
Right.
Did they do the Blair Witch game too?
Yes.
Yeah, Logan, you were there for that, right?
Yeah,
We did
sure-
the whole
yeah.
sitting.
Yes,
one
that was-
playthrough, one sitting.
That was them, and they made
yes.
no.
That's why when
shot.
they announced Bloober, I was like,
Everybody
what
on the
have they
planet was
done?
like, we're fucked. It's over.
And then it didn't make it any better when Silent Hill: The Short Message came out.
Yes. Yes, to reinvigorate the Silent Hill brand. That
Negativity.
was like the warm-up.
The
That's
warm up
so
was
funny.
Silent Hill Ascension.
Oh no.
That's my lowest thing on backlogged.
That's like the
0.5 out of 5.
that's
rating.
like the pay money to
have anything to
influence
make a
this,
choice.
to play this pre-rendered video or play this FMV or this
That's
FMV.
not
no,
even
it's
a
pay
game.
money to influence the game to play a cutscene. They might not even play the cutscene you want when you paid money for them to play it.
So
Crazy.
well, you're a Silent Hill expert, man. Has everything, like, is that game done?
Yes, it is. Well, they've talked about doing a season 2, but I don't think that's going to happen after season 1 was so negatively received.
So then we've only seen one possible outcome of that.
Oh,
right?
they're
Or
going to
have we
do-
seen all of it? Like, have they started it over and said, no, we can do it again. You guys can pay us more money to maybe go
we
a
can
different
replay
path."
this video for
Right,
you.
yeah.
They've said that they were going to do like a what if scenario thing, but I really think it was so badly received that they don't want to touch
Okay, so
Silent Hill
then
again.
presumably there's a lot of footage that's
No one cares.
still in the
Like,
vault.
who
What we gotta
cares?
see- Is Pyramid
so
Head?
bad.
Is Pyramid Head? in
What-
it?
yeah,
I
was gonna say,
watched
what's
the
about?
first day because it was every day you would be able to vote on your cutscene and see what happens. I did it the first day. It was Halloween 2023, I guess. Yeah.
Oh.
And I watched one day of it and I deleted it and I will never play it again because I don't give a shit.
What's it?
It's bad.
Well, what's it about?
Who
Oh
knows?
my
I don't care.
What you voted on the thing? What
I
is
voted
it's like
one time.
This character, they could
It
go
was-
down the left path, and that's gonna go to the hospital.
Actually,
Or-
I do remember the one vote I was a part of, which is probably the one that 99% of players were a part of. when
Yes,
stopped
before they
playing.
were like,
so
"Oh, this
the
is what it
big
is?"
Vote. This girl's like praying in a church or something like that, and they're like, say you're sorry, and it's like, I don't want to say I'm sorry. Say you're sorry. Does she say she's sorry? Yes or no? And I'm like, yes. And then wait 2 hours to see what happens. And then we said we were sorry. And then like all the crazy shit in the church stopped happening. But the one thing I want to say about that I remember was there were like cosmetics you could get in Ascension. And you could put
Cosmetics
them
for who?
your avatar
that you're watching.
in Ascension.
That
No,
everyone's
but
watching.
So it's like a watch
If
party.
you pay enough money, your
money,
avatar could show up in game. But you had like 5 hairstyles to choose from, like 3 face presets.
So it's like, that's me, but
everybody
it's not.
looks the same. But there was like a lot of Silent Hill is the trauma that your character goes through, especially James and Angela.
Trauma while playing Silent Hill Ascension.
Well, the thing is, they made a shirt that you could wear that just says, "It's trauma," and it's pink, and there's like all these stars shooting out and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's so like missing the point of Silent Hill.
That's icky.
And Ascension is embarrassing.
Good. Oh.
Good
I thought
at
that's what you were
embarrassing itself.
I thought we were
I was setting you up.
I thought we were getting to the point where you say that you liked it.
But
And that's why I love it. You know?
but it is my favorite Silent Hill game. I wish there was a physical copy I could put in here. But
Man.
Alas.
If there was,
only.
would you? Because you
yeah,
have them.
that's
Well,
the full
yeah.
series. Short Message doesn't have one. There's a physical soundtrack you can get that I didn't get for Ascension.
Good Lord.
But it's
cares?
it's composed by Akira Yamaoka, the series
I
composer.
don't even.
That's
even know.
cool.
Yes, it.
Yeah.
That's
But he
sure.
also composed Silent Hill 2 remake, so who cares about Silent Hill: The Short Message?
How does the soundtrack compare in the remake? Is it
It's
basically the same or a little?
They remade all the tracks, and there are a couple that hold up, but there are a couple that he really took it in a different direction. That is interesting and cool to hear a new version, but I don't think it holds up.
Can you switch between the two?
Nope.
Oh,
There is a deluxe edition though, where you can wear a pyramid head helmet that's made out of pizza boxes.
oh, that's really cool.
Isn't that awesome? You can pay money to wear that. $10.
Well, Konami said we've got to have money. So-
Wait, we don't have a season pass. You had a season pass in Ascension. We got to put more money into it.
Wait, hang on. Season pass in Silent Hill 2 or
Ascension.
just okay?
Ascension has season pass. If there was season pass in Silent Hill 2, I would have been appalled.
Well, they've had season passes in single player games before.
like Shadow of War.
Yeah, that was what I just. That's the only thing that.
I'm like, what else was there?
That is just.
I think
so,
they learned their lesson. I think the industry learned its lesson from that one.
I don't know.
Like I think the industry.
Warner
learned
Brothers
its
is
lesson.
still here's Warner Brothers releases multiverses a long time ago,
people like that.
My
I think.
and
favorite
people liked it. But they were like, well, we'd like it to be a little, and we're not loving it. So then they pulled it back and they said, okay, we're gonna put it in the oven a little bit longer. And then some, money grubbing. We've got to have money, guy. Maybe David Zaslav, who's the head of Warner Brothers and general piece of shit. Shout out to David.
Well, if you're watching this one,
Because the Wile E. Coyote movie and the Batgirl
Yeah,
movie
and
that got just
Yep,
shoved in a
yoinked.
vault and duct taped their mouths shut and
Yep.
put in a vault and chucked into the ocean. He could have been like, oh, multiverses. Well, this is a good opportunity to have more money. So then they re-release it, say, guys, it's back. We are so back. Multiverses is back. But the only difference is here's your roster, and then you have 4 or 3 characters that you can play as, which rotate out. And all the other ones have little lock symbols on them with a little stardust thing saying X amount of stardust or whatever. And you got to pay money to unlock them. It's a bunch of bullshit.
that's
And the
literally-
shit stew keeps going.
But here I have
So,
to, I have to-
no, they don't learn their lesson.
That
Warner
reminds
Brothers
me
definitely
of,
don't.
Overwatch when that came out, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I love this game. I love playing as these characters. How do I get new skins for my favorite
How do
characters?
we do it? How do I?
So I
Yeah,
look
that's
and I'm
kinda
like,
funny.
oh, that's a cool skin.
How do I
As
get it?
Mercy.
How do we
How
get
do I get that skin?
We
and
were
I'm
so.
sitting on my phone like,
Oh, we were
wait,
so
how
naive.
do I unlock this character? And I keep scrolling like, oh, you loot boxes. Oh, you level up and you get loot boxes. You get 1 per level. Is there any other way I can get loot boxes?
That was the beginning of the dark
Oh.
times.
No.
Yes.
Well, Advanced Warfare, speaking of Call of Duty, was the one that did it the worst.
Yeah, isn't that the one that had DLC? Is
It had
Advanced Warfare
guns
or
in
Ghosts?
loot boxes.
Oh,
That's the
works.
one. Yeah, my brother was also just like, yeah, that was big yikes.
But it also had variants of guns. The best gun in that game is the Obsidian Steed, and I never even
Yep.
got that gun.
Yep.
I never even got to use
Son
that
of a
gun.
bitch.
But it was a BAL 27 variant. So it was like the best gun in the game. The base model was. But then if you got the Obsidian Steed, it increased damage and headshot multipliers.
Well, that
and
seems
stuff.
fair. So you pay money to randomly get it,
And you might
then
get it, you might not.
and then you
There
win more.
are
and then you win. Yeah, it's almost like it's a pay and then you win. That should be called
It's
something.
like, you remember
but-
T. Martin? Where he's like, dude, I just found this website
Sure.
called CSGO Lotto. I don't know.
Yes.
It's weird. I just stumbled across this.
Yes.
That guy.
Crazy.
He was big in Advanced I think it was him. Was it big in Advanced Warfare? And he's like, I never got the Obsidian Steed. Like years later, like he was just making videos about Call of Duty. He's like, the best gun in the game. I'm 10th prestige, 500 hours played. I never even got the best gun, and I spent $200,000 on loot boxes.
Right. Yeah.
So you're not even guaranteed to get it if you spend your whole life savings.
When did that happen? Like, what game started the whole loot box?
For
thing?
Battlefront. No.
For me, it was, well, in my
was a bad
experience,
one,
it was
too.
Advanced Warfare. That was the first game that really did it. And Black Ops 3 did it bad too.
Yeah, and then like there's war chests in Shadow of War as well too.
That's,
which was
I mean,
later.
that's
Was it
insane.
really?
Yeah, in the single player
Dude.
campaign, you get loot
Dude,
boxes.
let me tell you.
What
let me tell
does
you
that
about this.
get you?
Let me tell you about this. You have Shadow of Mordor, single player game. You're doing Lord of the Rings stuff. Really good. And Shadow of War is also really. I think it might be a little bit better, or it's about the same. Either way, Shadow of Mordor. It's a game,
One of
play
the
it
games of
and
all
you
time.
have fun.
and that's all you expect it to be, right? Shadow of
Assassin's Creed,
War.
but not.
How do you not know any of this? Shadow of
Well,
War.
I know the Nemesis system where they're like, that's our thing, copyright.
Yes. I'm
we
just
will see.
surprised.
Insane.
So, other than that, which apparently the Nemesis system is coming back in the Wonder Woman game they're developing, supposedly, because they're like, this is the Nemesis system. You can't do it. Only we can. And then everybody's
Yes,
like,
they're
okay,
like-
so what are you
So
gonna
do something with it.
And they're like,
do
oh, we're Wonder Woman game. So Shadow of War, you get to the end of the game, and then there is the epilogue, and the game has like a whatever kind of ending, kind of not a cliffhanger, but like you can tell that there's more. Gets to the epilogue where the total playtime of the epilogue, if you were to do it, which I did not do, would be greater than your entire playtime that you've already put into the game to get to
Wouldn't
that
it be
point.
like also dozens and dozens and dozens of hours at that point?
Yeah.
Too?
Well, not dozens and dozens, maybe like
60.
25, 30,
Oh.
something like that.
Oh.
So
that was
it's longer than that to complete the
you
epilogue.
do in this epilogue?
You do it all again.
Why?
And then after you do it
Why?
all again, you get to see the ending cutscene. Yay. But during that time, you get war chests. And you get war chests throughout the game anyway.
Yeah.
But here they become important because it increases your chances of beating the game that you paid $60 for at the time. So war chests that will have like gear and other orcs and captains and stuff in them. And you appoint them to like your fortresses or whatever, and that increases your, you want to make the whole board blue and it's currently red kind of thing. And it's just a bunch of nonsense. And when I was playing the game, I was reading on Reddit and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, when you get to the epilogue, just quit. It's a scam and this and that. And they try to make it impossible and take a long time unless you pay money for war chests. I was like, no, but
I'm a gamer.
but actually, yeah.
Yeah. But
And it's crazy how slimy and obvious it is. That's why I think it got so much press, because it was just so obvious that at some point shareholders were like, well, how about this? Like that
Have we ever
cutscene.
tried a season pass in a
Like-
single player
Yeah.
I
game?
think
Right.
gambling.
So-
This game needs a little bit of gambling.
Yeah.
For children.
Yeah, so they basically said, well, you were going to play that final cutscene after you actually beat the game, but what if we put 30 hours between you and that cutscene, and then chemically try to get gamers to spend money?
So Warner Bros. Was like,
They concocted
we would
that.
like one video game. We would also like one more video game, single
Yes.
player extension. But you have to play loot boxes. Give us money.
Yeah, so very bad, icky things. But I'm curious where
Very icky. not
where
good.
loot boxes, that thing kind of started, because at first it was like so surprising, because normally
FIFA, like Ultimate Team stuff.
could be, because normally when you play a game, you unlock things by playing the game, and
Yeah.
that was it,
They
right?
didn't like that.
But then
We-
Yeah,
us
at
as
some
gamers,
point it all
we
changed
wanna spend
because
money.
I think
We don't wanna
EA
play the
was
game.
like,
Yeah.
what if you had to pay money to play the game more and unlock some stuff? I don't know. I feel like Battlefront.
something happened at some point, because
We've come back from it though, at least for the most part, at least.
I don't
The
have we though. Well, there
Compared
are
to
most
Advanced
part,
Warfare,
yeah.
Black
true,
Ops 3,
and there.
yes.
So,
Yeah.
for example, in Helldivers 2, that is amazing with how it does it,
Yep.
because they still
good.
can monetize it and get what they want, but it doesn't really impact anything. So like you still
Yeah.
unlock Helldivers bucks, whatever.
Hell
And-
bucks.
yes,
Yeah.
and you unlock your stuff, and it's like For me, in my brain, I was hardwired this way, where I look at the store and I'm like, fuck, dude, this is just making me sick. And I play 2 games, and then it's like, oh, I can get that thing that I want. Oh.
Yep.
And I just do it, and cha-ching, and I got it, and that's all. So
or if you want to, you can be like, oh, like a lot of my buddies at work actually would literally be like, it's like $5-10 to like be like, just to get like an extra little like deagle pistol that like does some cool stuff. And it's like, do you need it? No, it's a PvE game. It's not even like it's a competitive like shooter or anything. But yeah, and you get that currency now, albeit very slowly. Like it'll be like 1,000 super bucks for like the and always like since I played last, they have like
cash.
3 or more. No, it's super Earth dollars.
Okay.
And you'll get like maybe 20 or 30 per like mission or whatever. If you go out and like find it or whatever. So it's like, yeah, it'll take you like a while just to get one, or you could just be like, oh, this goes $5-10. But do you need it? No, absolutely not. Like the base game with all the unlocks and like all the stratagems you get, perfectly fine. We were talking about replaying that game recently too, now that it has like a bunch of updates.
Yeah,
like,
I gotta get back into that too. I only played it a small handful of times.
We were talking earlier about like moments, like cinematic moments that just occur
Oh,
naturally.
yes.
That is a perfect game. There's been so many moments where it's like, oh, there's the robots are coming out, toss it out, you dive out, there's a nuke hits behind you.
And it helps that the effects and animations are so good. Like, like a grenade or when you call for an airstrike thing and it just goes
yeah,
and like the fire plume, like it all looks so good. You would really like that game too.
I haven't played it.
I would like to.
I have not played Helldivers.
Holy shit! Oh, it's so good.
Oh my
dude!
lord,
I just run the 50K.
You would really like that. And it is just like a drop in and play kind of thing, and it's not like. Yeah, it's not competitive really at all. You can get super sweaty, and you can put it on like hard mode or whatever, do a mission that's got a high level or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But no, it's just fun to drop in and blow stuff up and goof around with your friends.
It feels a lot like old kind of games like Left 4 Dead, where it's like, can you play an expert where it's like a zombie hits you and kills you in 2 hits? Sure, yeah, you can. At the end of us playing, we would play on like 8 and 9 because you do have to play on 7 to get the super samples, to get the whatever. It's the whole thing, but. No, you can just sit and play on like 4, 5, 6, like Hazard 4, 5, 6, and just it's casual. You can have just a grand old time.
Gay old time.
It's a gay old time.
Okay, now
why? Each other up.
Well, why are games like Left 4 Dead fun? In Helldivers,
why
are they fun? What is the special sauce that's in there that makes it fun?
The ultimate replayability that they provide. Even and like a game like Left 4 Dead or Call of Duty Zombies, that you don't even get any progression for playing them. You're not getting an unlock or anything.
You play for the love of the game.
In later Call of Duties, or you do, but like Black Ops 1, World at War, Black Ops 2,
Halo 3. That's a big one that I like to think about
you
too.
You get armor, don't you? But it's nothing like
not in Halo 3. I'm pretty sure it was just
an armor thing you can get that's like you get it from a Bungie developer or something that everybody wanted, where you're
like if you're in a lobby with them,
they can can give it to you.
Yeah, that's so cool. But yeah, no, I think in that game you're just red or you're blue. And
yep,
that's it. And yet that was the glory days where you hop in, play with your buddies until midnight, and your mom yells at you to get off, and then you whatever.
And you stay up a little bit, a little bit longer,
play under the covers when nobody's looking. Yeah,
like on that topic, I mean, we were talking about
Turtle
games.
Beaches on.
My Modern Warfare 3 Turtle Beaches.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, they were big stuff.
Left 4 Dead, great game, but like that's a great example. Like that's a game I've been going back. We've been going back and playing. And it's like, well, this game's like from 2009.
Timeless.
It's such an old, but it's timeless. Yeah, there's no progression. It's just skill. It's different every time. Replayability,
and I think it helps that it just is what it is.
Yes,
like it's you're playing that, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like there's no stakes, and there's nothing externally that's influencing your gameplay of it, right? So like you're playing Helldivers 2, which is also super fabulous and great, but you might in the back of your brain be thinking like, oh well, I'm gonna try and like get 10 grenade kills so I get this points for this, or however it works, or I'm gonna try and accomplish this mission and do it on hard or whatever. So like you're thinking of external influences on why you're playing that, whereas with Left 4 Dead you just hop in and do what you're doing to have a good time. You just know your
game.
Yeah, I think the simplicity of it is really appealing. That going from like Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, where I'm like, oh dude, I gotta get the AN-94, I gotta level up to that. Where just hopping on, like, I have an hour, I want to do No Mercy in Left 4 Dead.
Yeah.
And it's just, I know I'm gonna have a good time.
And it just is what it is.
I'm going to have fun. And that's all it is.
You know what you're
playing
getting.
for fun.
And
And that's what it should be.
It's different every time. We've literally been doing that. It's like, well, let's just do Dark Carnival again. And for some reason, like the one where it's like the roller coaster one, it's like, damn, these Charger and like smoker spawns are just getting us every time. It's just different every time. Like you learn the strategies of the certain maps, and two, replayability, kind of like we were talking earlier about zombies. Like if I ever got it, I would love to do that and play the custom maps. Left 4 Dead is shit, dude.
Yeah.
It's 15 years worth of like custom maps that you can play on PC, and some of them are crazy, like crazy cool. So we've been slowly getting through those. So
Battlefront 2 is one of those games too, where you just can play it for fun.
Yeah,
anytime.
exactly.
And it's just like you can just do it. You know exactly what you're getting. It's a simple transaction. If you, I'm going to put them in the disc. I'm going to play the game, and I want to get what I want to get. I don't want there to be any war chest. I just want to get what
Not giving you any money.
yep.
I just want to play the game.
I just want to get exactly what I'm signing up for.
But here's the thing. Here, counterpoint. I guess devil's advocate or something.
What?
I don't
You're the bad
know.
guy.
Fun.
I don't. Well, no, I don't know anyone like this, but like. No, I take that back. I have actually legitimately had conversations where I had this where I'm like, oh, the game's so fun, whatever. And some people I have talked to have been like, there's no progression or anything. I'm like, but why does there need to have to be, right? Like your progression is that you learn the game and you have a skill set. And when you're having conversations later, it's like, it is literally a tool set and skill set. Like think of like Call of Duty Zombies. Like to me, when it started going downhill was like when you started having like a level for your zombies, and also like the bubblegum, like
The gobblegums.
the gobblegum. Yeah, it's just like, can't we just play zombies?
Black Ops 6 fixes that problem.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like this might be a Call of Duty I would be interested in only because of that's it. Just because of zombies. I don't really care about Call of Duty much nowadays, but I've always loved the zombies because I love 4-player. Like it to me, it feels like Left 4 Dead. Like it's like a fun survival. Like I also do like zombies. Like one of my main commander deck in Magic is literally a zombie tribal deck. Yeah, so if you guys ever played Magic the game.
Oh my god.
Anyway, no, I love zombies. I love undead like stuff. Like I always run that in like a lot of video games and as like my race in like D&D and whatnot. But I just love zombies, like in like Call of Duty.
Just as a concept.
Yeah.
I love The Walking Dead.
So
I love Left 4 Dead.
Well, to bring it back too, I was gonna ask actually, what does 6 like fix about Black Ops 6 fix about zombies? Because that's to me what dragged it down was like the whole progression stuff, right? Like Infinite Warfare zombies.
What, there's progression in zombies?
Yes, yeah.
Is
What
that
he's
'cause
talking about is fixed in Black Ops 6 because you share a rank between multiplayer and zombies.
Okay.
So,
But what does that have to do with Nazi zombies? I don't get it.
In I'll just talk about Black Ops 6. You're able to level up your perks and things as well to make them more powerful on repeat playthroughs.
Perks in
Like Juggernog.
Like in
Speed
zombies,
cola.
it's just like,
Oh.
well,
You're
now I have
able-
to sit and grind through this thing. Yeah.
But you're also able to level
Okay,
up your
I get it.
multiplayer rank too.
Yeah.
And unlock like camos and attachments for multiplayer. And the same thing happens between multiplayer and zombies. So that you always
But what
feel
else
like
is there?
you're
What
getting
is there
better.
to do in zombies? What else?
Just play and have
Easter
fun.
egg.
No, I know.
that
I know
too,
why
but-
playing zombies is fun, but you're saying that you can do whatever progression in zombies. What am I missing?
You can level up the perks. What are you missing?
Besides that, but is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Just the perks in there?
Well, the perks, the guns.
Oh, okay. Well, in my brain, I'm
can
thinking
have pre-
I'm on Noctur on Totem, bro.
Dude,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what it should be.
Meet
That's
me
all
on
I-
Shino Numa.
No,
dude.
that's all
Don't
I
even-
got. Okay, so hang on. So is it not like there's a gun on the wall and I pay for the gun, or there's a gun in the box and then I just get that gun?
It's still that
Do I get
concept.
my multiplayer gun in zombies?
You can add attachments and things. You can also have a starting class.
So
that
what?
you
This
can
must
make.
have been a thing for a
Yes.
long time because
Cold
I'm
War did that.
okay. So
but
I'm way out of the
I
loop
think
on
Black
that one.
You
Ops
see
6
my-
really streamlines it though and makes it a lot more
Okay,
understandable, beginner friendly. Gobblegums are back from Black Ops 3. They've been gone
you're
since
speaking
Cold
another
War.
language.
No, that's part of the
Gobblegums,
play.
dude. They're
I
like
don't
temporary
those.
perks you can get. Oh, people love Gobblegums, dude. Come on.
That's what I
Get with the
don't
times.
like.
He's in the COD game right now.
We're in
You're-
COD
you're
right
not,
now.
You're not in the. They kicked you
don't
out.
like those.
Remember? They kicked me out too.
They kicked him out
Banned me.
at World at War. I guess.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know.
But
what it
that's what I mean. There's like World at where you play down, you
I
sit
played
down, you
MW2.
play Durice, and you're.
I love Doritos is probably my favorite.
It
map,
is the
though,
best
honestly.
one. Some of the Black Ops ones are.
is
really
that the
good,
one
too.
that's the
Teleporters? around.
It's like
and that was
blue.
the first Pack-a-Punch.
What's the one that's in the insane asylum?
That's Verrucht. Zombie Verrucht.
It's the
That's-
second
That's
map
the second
ever.
map.
Okay, that's where it ends.
That's
for
when they
me.
introduced
Okay, so you played
perks.
2 maps.
And then
Yeah.
and then
Although I
shit-
did play in World War II, maybe I might have played.
Oh God.
Was there zombies in
the
that?
World War
There's
II,
there's zombies in.
World War II was not bad. I played the base one and it was
It's
kinda
fine.
cool,
It's
but
okay.
there was like things where it's like you have to go here to unlock the power. I'm like, okay, kind of like how to reach, because that's the thing is the original 4 zombie maps slowly started setting up things you'd see across the sequels, right? Like Verrucht was like perks, right? Oh, cool, you can spend perks on stuff. What your money on perks? Shinonuma was like, there's like
perks.
yes, Verrucht was there was no perks.
You're
in
right.
Nocturne
It's
and Totem.
Nocturne Totem that doesn't have perks. Sorry.
It's like Nocturne and Totem's like the mystery box and zombies. Well, that's cool. Verrucht was perks. Shinonuma was.
Do we open up the stairs yet? We gonna do it?
Shinonuma
Yeah.
randomly places the perks, and it's a much larger map that you can explore.
And it adds special rounds like Hellhounds, and
Yep,
that set
Hellhounds
up
coming
stuff
there.
where it's like some maps might have special because then they're like, oh, let's change it up now. Let's add another mechanic.
That's it. We're
whatever.
playing zombies tonight. We're gonna figure it out.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, man. And Derice was like,
and we're playing.
Pack-a-Punch.
We're playing Noct. We're playing one after another. We die. We go to the next one. Boom, boom, boom.
No, I
you
don't
said
know. I don't know.
I think they're downloaded on my Xbox right now.
talking
All
about
I
this.
know is when to open the stairs.
Dude, when do I buy?
You don't ever open the one.
Grand?
You don't ever open the one in the main room.
You
Yes.
always melee. Remember that you go shoot, then melee. That's
Mm-hmm.
maximum
Yes.
points.
Make a crawler.
Yeah, make it.
Dude, we're crawling.
I'm telling you, man, it has
That's
a
all I know.
resurgence. I literally have not seen anything about Call of Duty Zombies in years, and just like the
That's
last
it. We're
year
playing
or
Black
two,
Ops 6 too.
I see TikToks where it's like when your buddy forgot to like babysit the crawler, and it's like, oh no, he's still in the bathroom. Oh.
And nowadays it's like when your buddy buys the last gobble gum in the
that's-
box
okay,
room as the elevator's
that's
going down
the
into the
whole
water.
point.
I don't know. man.
That's the whole point of what I'm
Grandpa
talking
here.
about.
I got grandpa knowledge.
Yeah, that's.
I
that's
remember
fascinating.
the flame. You remember the
Yes.
sniper rifles in the cabinet upstairs.
Yeah, if you get
in
the
Nocturne
sniper,
Totem?
if you get the sniper rifle or the flamethrower, no
It's
flame.
over.
Yeah, I think was the
I
flamethrower
thought
really
it was
bad?
the s-
Sniper rifle is useless.
Well, the thing is with we're talking strategy. The thing is on Nocturne Totem, you
It's
can't
so-
upgrade your weapons. So the fact
course
that
not.
the
It's zombies. You can't do
flamethrowers,
that.
unlimited ammo,
oh,
that's very good.
okay. So flamethrower was good, but I remember you want the FG42,
No, you don't.
the
I don't
MG42.
think I don't think the FG42's in zombies.
Wait, hang on. No, there is one. And it's got
There's-
a big.
The Browning.
Yeah.
Well,
And then you get double tap, and it's like
Yes.
No, okay.
Or you get
I
the
know.
MG42.
See, I know.
Yeah.
You're trying to
you
make fun of
guys
me
are
and say I
all
don't know.
wrong. You're all wrong. It's just get the ray gun and you.
Well,
sit
if
and-
Oh, what a great
well,
tip.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. The Nocturne Turn is such a boring ass, plain ass
Well,
map.
yeah,
That is
It's
the
the
only
first
strategy.
one. It was
That's-
supposed to be like a fun little
Let them
Easter
cook.
egg.
I'm just saying.
Hey, and when you beat the game, or before you start, or after you beat it, you can spam select, and then it'll go.
Oh my god, that was
What?
crazy the first time.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Wait, what? I don't
So if you're
know
playing
I
if
do
you're
know
playing
that.
split screen and you
Okay.
and you spam select, the screen will go.
And then it's like
does it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, what?
Yes, yeah. So, yes, yeah. So when it's doing that in the beginning, I'll show you tonight.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, I
You're gonna
honestly,
lose
the
your
more we're talking about it,
mind.
the more I'm like, I would kill to play Derice again right now. Like that was me. Oh my god, the
well,
latest
you don't
I've
have to
ever
kill
seen.
anybody.
Okay, well-
I haven't installed.
Okay, well then that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go play
Yeah,
zombies.
Fuck this. I'm gonna go play zombies right now.
Catch us on Nocturne Totem. Until next time.
Okay, bye everybody. Thank you. Goodbye.